those things.
What about bicycle on
What
Yom Tov?
before hampers?
On Yom
What
Tov, we didn't
before
talk about.
hampers?
Because Yom Tov is a different story. I see all the Syrians riding their bicycle on Yom Tov.
Same thing.
I have to watch it.
Okay. Okay. Let's read. There's a beautiful in today in the parsha. There's an emes for Chodesh Elul, because the Baal HaTurim says Es levavcha ve'es levav sarecha Rosh Tovus Elul. Rosh Tovus Elul. Okay, so let's read it inside. K'atim yadatem es asher shavnu meretz Mitzrayim ve'es asher abardim b'kerev v'goyim asher abartem. Atiru asher kutzem v'skilulayim eitz v'oven kesef v'zav asher ma pen yishbachem isha mishpacha isha evet. Asher lo v'ofen yamin v'ashem alakin l'achas lavoides alakegi mahem pen yishbachem sherish b'oy l'roish v'lano v'yov v'sham v'divrei Allah azaz v'zvara b'lo v'layim v'sham yelik v'shis l'elech v'loyoy v'ashem tzloich loy v'ba. Then till the end of that parsha, and then v'hoyuki yavoy olecha kol advarim eila bracha v'aklolo asher anoichi asher nosati lefanecha b'shivoisa levarecha b'chol hagim asher yidicha Hashem lakecha shama. The Shavta Hashem lakecha do tshuva. After all these techocha, a yid does tshuva. The yid does do tshuva. V'shemata b'koyle kechol asher anoichi mitzav chayim ato v'necha b'chol avavcha b'chol nafshecha. After he does tshuva, v'shav Hashem lakecha shvuscha v'cheri chamecha v'shav v'kibetzcha v'kol ha'amim asher yifitzcha Hashem lakecha shama. The Eibishter is going to bring us back from the Galus to the Geula Shlema of Mashiach Tzidkenu. Me and Nigdach b'tzei Hashemayim, the other end, Flatbush and Midwood, far away from the Yerushalayim Ir HaKodesh. Hashem kapetzcha Hashem lakecha b'shem kechecha v'yachva Hashem lakecha b'aretz asher yoreh b'secha v'yirishta v'yitivcha v'hirbecha me'avesecha. Umol Hashem lakecha es levavcha v'es levav zarecha. La'ava es Hashem lakecha v'chol levavcha v'chol nafshecha l'man chayecha. Okay. Before we read a little Gishmaka piece in the Rechem HaKodesh and the Tzur Ramor, turn the page to the other side. The Targum, Uncle says, Yedi Hashem Aleikoch, Yos Tifshus Libach, Yos Tifshus Libe de Venach. That the Eibishter is going to cut away the tipshus of the heart, of the tipshus of your heart, and the tipshus of your children's heart. Lemircham Yos Hashem Aleikoch b'chol libach b'chol nafshech b'dil chayecha. So, why is the Targum saying, adding the word tipshus libach? Because obviously what's bothering the Targum is, what do you mean Mol Hashem Alekeches Levavcha? Hashem is going to cut off your heart? You have to have a heart. No, he's not going to cut off your heart. He's going to cut the orla off the heart. Kilo, there's like an orla, big fat orla on the heart. And Kilo Neymar, that now Davish is going to cut off that big fat orla. Easy, shmizi, avodas Hashem will be breezy. It will be very nice and easy to do avodas Hashem. Okay. The Ashkenazim say in the morning, everyone says in the morning, at the Bechza Torah, like a little Mishnah, a little this, a little that. The Ashkenazim say, Zayra Omer, the Nois Yisrael, hey, Mechmir al Atzman, Shafilu, Royas, Tipas, Damka, Chardo, Yoshvim Alayim, Shiva Nakim. You and me don't do that thing. You also don't do that. Huh? You don't have a Nusach Ashkenaz. They bring this, they say this Reb Zayda, the Maimer Reb Zayda. You daven Ashkenaz? No, okay.
What is it? After Kriyas Torah?
Huh?
Hardly.
Hardly, okay, fine. Because I remember I was at Rov in the Young Israel, and they had that in the Siddur in the morning. You know, after Bechza Torah, when you say a Mishnah, you say a little Torah Shabbat, Torah Shabbat. They say, but they also have the Bezeda Omer. They also, everyone says Peyah. So Reb Shimshon Aster Pola says, what the connection? Tipat, I'll call Tipat Dioi Shel Rashi Tzarich Lashevet Shiva Nakim. Kol tipa dioi from the Rashi's pen. That's the Reb Shimon Asterapoli. He was a famous Kubal. He was killed al Kiddush Hashem. He lived about 400 years ago.
And Hashem.
No, both from Asterapoli. But I'll call tipa dioi sherashi tzarich lashevet shiva nakim. The Rebbe had a big koch that sometimes Rashi says, and sometimes he teaches you by not saying anything. Sometimes it's easier to learn the Rashi where he says something, because you know what he's saying. But sometimes Rashi's quiet, and he doesn't say anything, and he wants that the student should break his head and think about it, and figure it out without him saying anything. The Onkelos is right. What does it mean, Umar Hashem Alakecha Es Levavcha? It's a mikrokotza. You should say, it's not going to cut the heart, he's going to cut the Arla Salev, the Tipshu Salev. But Rashi doesn't say that. So, in order to answer the kasha that it says in the Pshat, that a child could figure it out. But before, let's read a beautiful piece in the Ohr HaChaim and a piece in the Tzrer HaMoir. Ohr HaChaim says, "Mol Hashem Lakecha yesh lahoyer acha shamar lamayla v'shavta ad Hashem v'shamata v'koili makam loimer oid u'mol Hashem." I didn't understand. The person did tshuva. It says in the pasuk, "V'hoyu ki avoyu kol advarim ha'ela bracha v'kvolim v'ashivoy zer lavavecha v'shavta ad Hashem Lakecha." You do tshuva. Okay, so once I do tshuva, what do we need? Mol, not mol. He did tshuva already. Oid re'ani shoymer, oid achikech v'ata toshuv shenir shemash shekodam adayin legil tshuva v'zeina k'acha shemol abov liba l'havas Hashem b'chol liba b'chol nafshay ein l'chot tshuva gedel l'mezuk. Och, and the bima shebirash l'pashas kitov v'bein binyan abrach v'neklot sheyesh loisha dvorim klovis v'mitzvahs Hashem ala v'eisek atoyre shein is shmiras mitzvahs loitase shlish is ki mitzvahsei. וזה, כשמולה אם תיקנת תשובה, סייד שלושתם, כנגד תשובה תלמוד תורה אומרת תשובה ראשונה ושאפת עד השם, וגוי מרעד ושמעת בקרל של תלמוד תורה, ולא יזכיר עמי דבר אחר, וזוהי אז כל עשה תשובה שצריך השווה סויס. There's level 1 in tshuva, which is for Torah. V'omer k'neged v'shem Hashem v'shvuscha v'shavi kibetz. V'omram shebizchus ha'izakato Yisrael negolem gam ha'ma'ama of the orders alas v'masteirosi l'zek sheshuvah. Talmud Torah yikaptzim Hashem v'yivirim el it's a shayorshu. There's 3 levels in tshuva. Tshuva for as a shaykh from the Torah, tshuva for mitzvahs lotzei, and tshuva for mitzvahs zeh. Like a shmiras loites amar mara Hashem alakechas l'vavcha v'kidu k'orlas alev u'asois erosha v'avas haresha shaliba shalodem achmadosei k'neged do yomar umol ava pish talbish ava asher tiken nabo chatoichem b'yisechem v'nimis yedidus chibas alakecha v'yichet schar leze she'apach Hashem kol atzores malayin al tzerina k'em ravanos alabecha k'neged kiyum mitzasei amar ba'at atoshu. Physical mitzvahs and mitzvahs v'yichel zeh akrovas atayeles v'sircha v'yosher v'losas. Okay. So really, the Ohr HaChaim HaKodesh raises a good question, and its answer is not our answer of Pshat. He asks a good question of Pshat, and then he gives a whole. He asks a question, simple question. It says that the Jew will do tshuva. And then the v'shavta ad Hashem alakecha, v'shamata b'koyle, you're going to listen and do tshuva. V'shav Hashem alakecha shuruscha, the Eibush is going to take the Yidden and Golos and bring them back with Mashiach. Now, so what's going on now? Now the Yidden did tshuva, Mashiach came, and they all came back to Yerushalayim Mir HaKodesh. Now all of a sudden, Umol Hashem alakechas levavcha, Mashiach already came. We all did tshuva, and the Eibush brought us back. So what now? Umol Hashem alakechas levavcha. We already did tshuva.
He could read the Yisrael. completely.
But we did tshuva.
That would still Yetzirah. Just a moment, it takes away more. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, that's good. It's good. It's good. You're going in the right direction. Very good. Obviously, this amal is a different thing. It's something unbelievable. It's something that the Abish is going to do something new for the Yid's heart. Totally new thing. The Rebbe says there's two things when a person sins. There is Orla Salev, Tipshu Salev, and then there's the Resha Halev, and then there's coming from the outside. Rashi says, or like it says over here in the Psukim earlier, Vatiru shikutzeim as giluleim eitz v'evet. So pen yesh b'chem isha mishpacha v'shevet ashelava v'poina. They see that the goyim are doing bad things, so their heart is also going to want to do bad things. So there is the bad, like there's a Veltzog. What do you mean? Which chait did you do with the Yetzer Tov? And the other chatoim you did with what? Also with the Yetzer Hara. So what does it mean? So the answer, whatever, the answer that there is the natural things that a person wants to do bad. And then a person brings upon himself an extra Yetzer Hara. No one asked him.
What is natural?
Naturally, a person likes a steak, a little to sleep in, a little. He doesn't want that interesting Kiddush in the morning. But this guy went out of his way to find a Pesach Yetzer Hara. The guy went in the wrong places and he found himself a Yetzer Hara.
Extra power.
Extra Yetzer Hara. No, who asked you to go look for that Yetzer Hara? So that's the Yetzer Hara. Same thing here. There is two types of ways that Yid sins. Orla Salev, Tipshu Salev, and then there is so the Tipshu Salev I can change myself. But you never know. You're having a son, you walk in the street, you see something that was not appropriate. You didn't look for it. You didn't walk out looking for it, but it came. And once it's in front of your eyes, it's an issue. So we say when Mashiach is going to come, there's going to be a special thing. All Hashem Lekecha that we're going to get rid of the Orla Salev. But the Eibush is going to get rid of that it shouldn't be and you're going to see the other nations. Eibush will take when Mashiach will come, will make a special thing to get rid of the Yetzer Hara in a way that he can't come back. That he cuts the heart away from the eyes in a way. Today, when as soon as the eye sees, the heart desires. But when Mashiach can come, the Eibush will do a special thing for our heart. That it's not going to happen that way just because we saw something bad that we should right away desire.
I think I learned in the Tanya about the Orla Salev.
Yeah, the Tanya talks about it. Very good.
So that's why.
And then he get his HaKodesh, I think Gimel Dalet, which was maybe a month ago.
The explanation.
Yeah. So the Rebbe says that's why Rashi doesn't have a problem with this. But if you read the whole parsha from the beginning to end, not just the Orla Salev, Tipshu Salev, the foreskin around the heart. The Eibishter is going to do something special for the Jewish heart, like make a heart transplant, a new heart, not just cut off the Orla around the heart. It's a new heart. He cuts the heart that usually today the heart and the brain are hardwired with a direct string. And Rashi says, "Ayin roya v'alev chaymet." Immediately is ayin roya, right away alev chaymet. And it's very hard. That's the idea of Shmiras Einayim, because a person says, "Oh, I'll look anywhere. It won't affect me," but it's not true, because that's just the nature. The Eibishter wired a person that way. So the Eibishter says, "Don't worry, Mashiach will come. Well, after you did tshuva and you cut off the tipshus alev, I'm going to cut away the orlas alev, the lave, that it shouldn't be connected to the heart. The heart shouldn't be connected to the eyes in a way that right away that the eye and roy of alev comes. And therefore, Rashi doesn't learn like the Targum, that it's talking about the Abishah will cut the tipshus alev, the tipshus. No, the Abishah will cut the heart, but the heart will not be hardwired to the eyes in a way that the person could see something and it won't right away be ayin roy of a climate. Simple. The Rebbe says that if you look at the Baal HaTurim says, Es levavcha es levav, Roshi toiv elu. Es levavcha es levav is elu. Lakach noagu, lahashkim lispal slichos, merosh chodesh elu ve'elech. V'chein luli amanti lidit betuv Hashem, lula is oisio is elu. Shemel ve'elech, choradeti neged Hashem. From Elul, I'm chored l'dvar Hashem. Which this pasuk, by the way, is in which capital they live in? In l'dvar Hashem already, right? So luli amanti lidit betuv Hashem. Lula is loy metavov and loy metanalef. Spoke about it, Shabbos. Loy metavov and loy metanalef. Elul. Which is the other way around. Lulei, you have to is lamed vav lamed aleph. Elul is aleph lamed vav lamed. It's the other way around.
Yeah, literally, it's not even a mix.
Yeah.
Term.
Yeah. So the Rebbe says there's two ways of learning it. One way of learning it is that the Baal HaTurim is talking about more of a basic pshat. That according to the Baal HaTurim, Elul is about tshuva. And but the Baal HaMus said Elul is all about doing tshuva. By the way, you see from the tour, the minig posher today by Spardim is to say slichus, the whole Elul. But the Baal HaTurim was a son of the Rosh, who was an Ashkenazi. I mean, he lived in Toledo, but he was born in Germany. He had a German passport, not a.
He wrote about it for Shver. Shver wanted something else.
Yeah.
He didn't want only Shanos to true. So I told him, I don't want all these. Give me something in a nice book.
I never read.
I read about it.
Yeah.
I think he wrote.
So the Baal HaTurim was Ashkenazi. So it could be Ashkenazim also had this meaning. So the Rebbe says the simple shot is that Elul is with slichus, with doing tshuva, cutting off the orla around the heart. But if you learn Rashi says it's not so much about yida, it's not so much about taking away the bad part of the heart, the orla salev, it's la'av, that a yid should experience avas Hashem, an intense avas Hashem. And that goes well with the Alter Rebbe's Mahalach and Elul. That Elul is this man that the Melech is besoda, and his man upon him yofis, and his man upon him shoichekes, and that's why it's a time to fabrein. And like I spoke about this in Shabbos, that the Rebbe in the last few years, that Rebbe said the Minich Siddim was to come to Slichus.
See. How do you say it in Hebrew?
Vaklan de Gehet. Avas Hashem. It's all about Avas Hashem. So if you learn the Baal HaTurim, the Pashtup Pshat, it's about cutting away the Tipshus Alev. So therefore, it's connected to Slichus. But if you're learning the way Rashi is learning it, is not to do with Tipshus Alev. It's to do with a whole different thing. To reset the heart. That is Lavas Hashem. Okay? So that goes well with the Alter Rebbe's Pshat. That goes very well with the Alter Rebbe's Pshat. And the Rebbe says you could say the other way also. That Rashi, because Rashi is talking about the basic level in Havas Hashem. And maybe That's a limit of der Pshat. When we're talking about the Avos Hashem, the way it's Melech Basod. But the Balaturim is talking about a very deep thing, a very, very deep thing in Avodas Hashem. A deep Ava, a very, very deep Ava, which starts with Slichus, but then continues in the Asaras Yom Shvein Rosh and Kippur, where then is V'doidi Li, that Elul, that he brings Elul, that Rosh Tevis Neva Doidi V'doidi Li, and also Esl Bavchem Esl Bav. Okay. Anyway, to summarize, so we have two ways of looking at Elul. One way of looking at Elul is the focus of Elul is Esl Bavchem Esl Bav, the opinion of cutting off the foreskin of the heart, and it's connected with Slichus. And the other Mahalach is no, that the main focus of Elul is Anila Doidi. For sure, Elul has everything in it. Toda, the Sodim, Shuva, Yula, Bigla, everything is in Elul. But the Shail is, what's the main emphasis in Elul? Eslavovchem, Eslavav, Maltem, Eslavavchem, to get rid of the Tipshus, or the main thing is really Avas Hashem, which is emphasized in Anila Doidi, Vedoidi Li. Shall help from. Oh, you want to do Sarah Amar? Okay, so let's read quickly Sarah Amar. You already printed it out, the paper. Yeah, it's a rush. Doesn't look like we have a minion tonight, but we can read it Sarah Amar. No.
I'm here.
It's part of the deal.
I'm accepting.
Okay, good. You know what? Can I bother you? But you give Rabbi Surface a copy. No. Here, show me. Big. Mola Hashem Elokecha Slabavcha Laramas Boisas Man Yaber Ruach Atom Min Haaretz. Sarah Amor.
Oh.
It's a Pirush Mystic.
That's all. Yeah.
הוא חי לפני 400 שנה, הוא היה בעל מקובל גדול. העיקר הפינוש שלו זה מיוסד על הזויה. מולה שם לקח הסלבותך לרמז, כבויס הזמן, יעבר וחתום מן הארץ ויצר הור נופש קדמוני. אולי ואבן. וזה אומר מולה שם לקח הסלבותך, כאומרי וסרויסי, אסלי ואבן מבשרך. It's a heart transplant. Last week they reported a very successful heart transplant. That someone got a heart of a pig and he managed to live already for a full year or something. And I said, wow, you can live with the heart of a pig. Transplant, it's a big symbol. But you can put into the human the heart of a pig.
I don't know.
Let's go with the feeling. I think the product body, the capital body.
It sounds better than a heart of a pig.
Pig. That was the most retarded.
Right.
Right here.
Okay, weiter. Kamer beslossen leven dat we zagen op die tradition yoma mala shoma kach und ich amar bamaila. Schafft das shoma kach. Fish dark tshuva rob ben adam yochel b'liezer lekila sikim lazalma. Dark tshuva is not easy. A yid needs a little help, a boost from the Eibishter. So Zalma, the pasuk says that the Eibishter gives the yid a boost to do tshuva. Mola Shem Lekechas Lavov, Meshkosa, Rabbi Yoin, Ma Shenka, Chamasegis, Yechadash Hashem, Bekirba Charov Kagan. That if you can't do it yourself, the Eibishter will help you. So Zivche Tzedek. Ma Shenka, Chamasegis, Ubitchol Hashem. Zivche Tzedek is what you could do. Bitchol Hashem, the Eibishter could do. Chen Omar, I know, Bafteris, Soim Kippur, V'Omar. There's two Hafteris in Kippur. In the morning, the Soilo, in the afternoon is Mafta Yoina. Soilo, Dale, Panu, Derech, Harinu, Michshol, Derech Hamik. Oyo, Medabek Neged Mechichum, Aderishim, Shein Roitzim, Laha Yashir, Om Dibri Toira. With the fish, Shein Shem Lahem, Shmavazim Oisam, Vamar Lahem, Shalo Yachuchel Debrem. Ela sheyarimu mirshal. V'yilma tu mashem yizboreh shenachlam terosu. V'avu v'lo yavu shmayim. V'feitum geneged. V'im kol zeh u'nois lampon. Avu b'ishu godel v'noir. So the Abisha says to the Mechichim on Klal, so don't worry. If people spit you in the face, doesn't matter. Just keep on doing your thing. Who motzui is dake b'shvaruch laket b'shvalim. V'divrei Torah. V'haf apikil v'fim esem hoili lori v'mon la'olam. The Abisha says I should have, these doesn't matter. Lo la'olam hori v'lo la'netzach ekboit. L'visha ma'ase yodeh v'zel neshom sani asisi. L'visha neshom al-ma'alam ha'ruach b'ama ani asisi. V'beruach amar l'fane yatif. V'talmud omru ki ruach HaMashiach b'ksiv v'nocha ruach Hashem l'fane yatif. That when it says v'ruach l'fane yatif, it's talking about ruach HaMashiach. Kemo da'at omar v'yatif l'lav v'klam Hashem esacher lobe. That the Atufim is like Mashiach, which is he's Mesacher, he's Nebuch, he's not coming for a long time. Fisher Neshama is Ani Asis Bach, Yochlois Neshama, and Mashiach Ba. Omra mean David Bach, Shechel Kol Neshama Shebeguf. Shezer Emes Lamakam Acher, Shenikere Gu, Shesham Yoish was Kol, and Neshama Shenifru, B'Sheshis Me Bereshis. That Mashiach, which is Atufim, the Indian of Yaatov, he's waiting for all the neshamas to be born. V'avoim bitzek etzavti v'akeu. Temim sheim chatoim kinegdechem. Im kol ze royu lachem las k'mashani yoytze. The Mechichim shouldn't give up on the Yidden. Should be mekarev every Yid. Don't give up on a Jew. Kibavim bitzek etzavti v'akeu haster ve'ektev klem t'lapamem ani koyutze behem l'pamem im haster ponemem k'mishein roya afa pisher hu oilach sheva b'derech livay. Lefi sheyadua ki yetze levan d'meram nura v'afa pisher d'meretze l'asher. Any ochel officiates or the Mateo, Shalom with the Kurtzi, Dios, any derech, it's hard to do tshuva. Either where he can't because the Yitzhahara doesn't let him, or he doesn't know the road for tshuva. As Omar, Derochi, V'Isi, V'Erpoe, Kolome, Derochi, V'Isi, Shoya, Roitze, Lo Shiva, Sheni Yochel, Ani Berachami, Erpoe, Refus Nefesh, Vancheu, B'Derech, Le Koshelba. Binyan Shabazev Shalom Nichum Loy Lavelov Shalem Koichos Yetzer Atov Shemesablo Metzarim Alavidosim. Ech Efshe Zeh Shias Hashem Kazel Yash Rodem Derech Shor Achot Shu Neroitze Ein Yochel. As Omar, it's like funny. He just picked to take the whole Haftarah of Yom Kippur and just like go through it. As Omar Boyri Nifs Fasoim. Kalama Mishabara. It's very hard to get Haftarah, the morning of Torah on Yom Kippur. It gets a little eclipsed by Mafta Yonah. But there's a lot in that Haftarah. It's a very geschmack Haftarah. So the way Tzorah is learning it is that you never give up on doing tshuva. That's what they were saying. And they're saying to the Mechiach that's trying to make out of another Yid, that never give up on another Jew doing tshuva. If they wants about tshuva first and then the tzaddik. If Shashem Chapre Vederchel, Zamer Val Titmal Ze, Kashem Bore the Bris Vasaim, Sheshboy School in the floor, Shaboy Nasan Shalom Lakara. That as soon as you do the video bepe, even though you don't mean the tshuva completely, already David accepts the tshuva. Lemashap Vishad Barachim Hashem Bedibur, Svasam Karbel Hashem, Avalarosha, Elam Kiyum, Avalim, Mislanam, Bekolasem Kiyum Nigrosh, Kmoshe, called Sabas Alpiv. Vayigerosh meim avrepesh v'tiv v'chen v'chem kol tzivasem al piyem pishem nabla piyem b'divrei shav lachem piyem ono b'hem k'moshe rishonim al piyem chaim rishonim al piyem eisim zo amavis v'chaim b'yad aloshim k'moshe b'rash al pasuk ki omal odem lefiyu v'achazem ein shalom om Hashem l'rishonim achshem borchem hashalom him kol zeh kora b'gorem al tachzach. That scream loud to be makar of Yidden. Malay merlei lo Hashem sheyeshuva lefi shem hami. He's scared to be marichas, that's why he's doing the kitchen. אלא שבדרך כלל עומא שיגידו להם פישם וחטוסם ודרכי תשובה ראויים ושלא יגנבו דעת השם והבריס באומרים שהם מסענים כל השבוע וכן באומרים שהם לא יצאו נזכר על השם ולדעת דרוך ולא מלא בנפש אלא לגנב דעת הבריס כשמספרנו אין עננים ואומרים למה צמנו ולא יראיו. We fasted and we don't see results. That they're not fasting in the proper way. So, that you're not fasting with an emes heart. אישם, אבל באגרב הנימויה, ואין שלא יכירו אישוסם. אבל תיינס אמיתי הוא הנויס אדם נפש, יועץ מזה, שאדם רוצה לאושר אל השם, אל השני יודע השם מחדש בקיר ברוח חדושה. תאמר דרוך בראיסי ברפואה והנחיר, וזה שאומר כאן, ומול השם הלקח אז לבבך, כמו שפרשנו למיילו. And they're going a little bit of an arichas, it's a difficult, basically it's certain more it takes. Entire Haftorah of Yom Kippur and reads it that the whole Haftorah is to say that we never give up on Abal Tshuva. We always try to make out of another Yid, we never give up that every Yid is going to do Tshuva. So we see that Mola Hashem Al-Kechas Lavavcha Lavav, the way the Balaturim learns it goes for Chodesh Elul, the way that Tzorah Amor learns it goes for the Avodah of Yom Kippur. It all goes to the same thing. So, Es Labavcha Es Lavav is Rosh Hashanah Elul. The bottom line is that there's two ways of looking at Elul. One way of looking at Elul is the way the Targum Unkel says, which is this pasuk is talking about Tshuva, it's talking about Elul, talking about Yom Kippur. Shaila is how we look at it. If we're looking at it in one way, that we have to cut off the Tipshus Alev, so then the emphasis on Chodesh Elul is the Slichus, and that's taka the minhag atikirman to say Slichus the whole Chodesh Elul, even Ashkenazim. And then there's a Chidush Dover, which is Rashi's Pshat, which is that the emphasis is more Anila Doidi V'Doidi Li. And also Hashem Alakechas Lavav Es Lavav Zarecha is La'av. The emphasis not is on the taking away the Tipshus Alev, we took away the Tipshus Alev. The emphasis is on the La'av. But Rebbe says that's the difference between the Mahalach HaMusar and the Mahalach of the Alter Rebbe, Api Chassidus, and the Chodesh Elul. That Api Musar, it's a scary Chodesh because Yid is concerned about cutting away the Tipshus Alev. And Api Chassidus, it's a very besimchadike Chodesh, and it's time to make a lot of Fabrengens because it's the time to meet the Melech Basada and the Malach Panim Yofes and Panim Shechikois. Like I said, Shabbos, that the Rebbe had this koch in the last few years, that slichas you got to say, baklan the kid hate. I got we're really talking about slichas. I was reading yesterday the Shimas from one of the Talmidei Yeshiva. I was there by slichas. The Rebbe used to have yechidus in the early years, Tavshach, and it was 3:00 in the morning. The Rebbe finished the yechidus. The Rebbe wanted to say slichas already because he was going to go home. He would come back next morning, and he wanted to say slichas. It's 3:00 in the morning. Why not? So the Rebbe asked their minion to exactly 10 people in the base marriage. The Chazan was about to start Ashley Yoshev Sefer. And the Rebbe asked, it was Rabbi Chadakov, is there a minion? She said, yeah, I told you there's a minion. The Chazan waited, because the Rebbe is asking, is there a minion? And then 3 Bochum heard that the Rebbe, they came running from the dormitory. There was 13 people, and they started Ashley.
Oh, the people that were not Jewish.
There was a person that died, I told you, it was a Balchuva. It was a Balchuva. And he felt something was, the Rebbe was looking around, there's no minion, and found out from his mother she wasn't Jewish. So the Rebbe had a feeling. Never wanted to. If there was 10 people in the room, I asked they should have a minion. Okay.
Wow.
Thank
L'chaim. It should be. I should see that the emphasis of the Sherbel, the emphasis both are important. We have to do both. We have to get Lavav Cheves Lavav to cut away the Tipshus Lev, and there has to be a heart transplant. That instead of having a leib basar, have a leib evans, a leib basar la'ava. Ani l'doidi v'doidi li. We need both. The question is just where the emphasis is, where we're starting. But we need both. We can't. What do you mean? We can't have one without the other. But okay. Asherenu, that we were zeichet to hear the Torah of the Alter Rebbe, to know that Chodesh Elul is not that scary. That Chodesh Elul is a time of simcha because Malach Besoda, Panim Yofes, Panim Sheichkes, Ani l'doidi v'doidi li, l'chaim l'chaim.
So you want to about Schuber, to get, or you want?
Oh, it wasn't again. I think the story was he left. He realized he was not Jewish.
Naturally, it could be about Schuber. Well,
He thought he was about.
Gary wasn't tired.
Yeah, if you'd want, yeah.
Someone story could say that a fellow about the author. It's the white one of someone. And like this system of that transfer mission that and he like you look at this now. Understand actually. So then it's my then yeah, but by the light of the what I described, you actually have a chapter therefore by the like thorough something like that. You wouldn't touch it. No. I don't know where it came from. It's
This morning we had an unbelievable story of Chavetz Chaim. Yeah. Okay.